Hi crafters, it's Chloe from Chloe's Creative Cards, and today I want to show you how to create this beautiful card using our new 3D crystal snowflake embossing folder and die set. And now I have been obsessed with this die and embossing folder set, and I really hope that you all love it as much as I do. So we're going to start off by building up the base layers on our card, and then I'm going to show you how to create these fabulous snowflakes. So to start with, we've got an 8x8 card blank, of course, and we've got a piece of beautiful patterned paper. So I've grabbed this paper from the Wonderland 8x8 paper pad. So it's the blue snowflake one that I'm using. I'm going to grab some scrap paper and my Crystallina glitter, and we're going to just glitter around the edges of here. So we're going to start off by taking a chisel tip glue pen. We're going to take our paper, and again, if you've watched this channel before, you'll have seen me do this many times. You're just going to take that glue pen and drag it towards yourself, like so, and that just gives you an, I was about to say a nice straight line there, but don't panic. If you go off a little bit like I did there, I'm going to show you how to fix it, so don't stress too much. So you're going to drag that towards yourself, and then we're going to take that and we're going to just dunk it into the glitter. So just making sure that we've got all of that lovely glitter going along the edges. Like so. There we go. So when I've dunked it, I've not kind of just covered the full piece, I've just covered the edges so that you can see how that looks. So I'm going to pop that to one side, and I'm going to move that out the way too. I'm going to stick this down flat onto our base card. So I'm just going to use a little bit of glue to do that. So just a little bit of glue on the back. And then stick that down flat onto our card. And there we go. So I'm just going to grab the other parts for this project. So we've then got a piece of silver mirror card, which we're going to stick on with foam pads, and I've cut down a piece of our white pearl card, which is going to sit on top of there. So again, I'm going to take my scrap paper in and my Crystallina glitter, and I'm going to glitter along the edges. Of this here. So, I'm going to dunk that in to the glitter. There we go. Right then, so next up we are going to stick that layer onto our base card. So I'm going to stick it down onto my mirror card first, so a bit of glue on the back. Stick that onto there, like so, and then we're going to stick that onto our base card. So just a few foam pads on the back. And then we're grabbing our base card, and we're just going to stick that down straight in the middle there. Then got a piece of white card that I've just trimmed down a little bit smaller, and this is a really fun part. So I am obsessed with this stamp set. I'm going to work on a piece of scrap paper, but this is one of the new stamp sets that's in the Winter Wonderland collection. The name has escaped me, but it is in the description below. I want to say it's like Starry Trail, Starry background, but it's part of the new Winter Wonderland collection. And honestly, I love this set. It looks amazing, stamped and embossed in all of your gorgeous glittery wow powders. Oh, it looks fab stamped. So we're going to take this little kind of Starry Trail design here, and I'm going to stick it onto my acrylic block. I'm going to take a tumbled glass distress oxide. I'm going to do a bit of stamping, so we're going to create our own background. So we're going to take the ink pad to the stamp and ink it up, and we're going to start off by just randomly stamping these little stars all over the background. So we're kind of creating that little Starry Trail kind of look to our project. And of course, they kind of almost look like you can link them up, but you can stamp them quite randomly too. And we just want to get these little stars kind of all over the background. And this is one of those stamp sets where it's going to live on your desk because it is so useful for creating your own little backing papers and all such like. And you can kind of just go in and just randomly stamp it. It is honestly, it's the easiest thing to do. And a little bit up there, a bit down there, a bit there. There. So you can see how we can build that background up. I'm going to leave it about that. I think I might put one more across the middle. Like here. There we go. That's not too disastrous there. I did drop the stamp, but it's not too bad. So you can see how beautiful that then looks. I'm going to take my heat gun just to heat prep this. Seriously, look at the kind of backgrounds you can be making. Honestly, I just love it. I love it so much. It's so much fun to use. There we go. Right, so another little stamp that I've stolen. I'm going to just take this one off the block. I'll just wipe my block over with a little baby wipe because I've got a bit of ink going around the edges there. Be back with you all in 2 seconds. Let's just get this cleaned off. See, this is what happens when you're in your craft room at home, isn't it? Just going to peel that off there. Actually, I hope the sentiment fits on this block. It should do. So then we're going to take a sentiment, and this says, "May your Christmas be filled with magic and sparkle." I've taken this from the Tree Border Stamp and Die set. We're going to dust over our little background just with a bit of anti-static, just because that ink might still be a little bit wet, so we don't want to risk that when we're going in and stamping a sentiment. So we're going to use our clear embossing ink pad. So I'm just inking my stamp up there. I'm going to get rid of that out of the way. And then we're going to stamp this in the bottom left corner. Pop that down there. So you want firm even pressure all over the stamp. Then I'm going to lift that off, and I'm going to take my polished silver superfine embossing powder, which is this one here. Sprinkle that directly over the top, and then we're going to tap away any excess. And there we go. So I'm going to pop that back into the jar, and we'll heat up this sentiment. I'm going to take my chisel tip glue pen again, and my Crystallina glitter. So we're going to take that and we're going to drag it along the edge of the card, like so. There we go. So I'm going to pop that to one side now. And we're going to start to create the snowflakes. So to do that, oh, this is so exciting. We're going to use the 5x7 embossing folder. This is the Crystal Snowflake one. Gorgeous. Like, the inspiration was, do you know those really beautiful kind of crystal-y type snowflakes that you can get in the shops to hang on your Christmas trees? It's like, we need like that kind of style in an embossing folder, and this has been a challenge to create, but I feel like we've done it. So you're going to take a piece of white card, you're going to place that card into the 3D embossing folder, and then you're going to take your base plate and your plastic shim, and you're going to sandwich this together and send it through your die cutting machine. Okay, off we go. You're gonna lift that out and then you're ready for the grand reveal, okay? Look at the sculpting that you have got on here. Like, seriously, these look so good. They look awesome on mirror cards as well. Really, really good. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna ink these a little bit. So I've got 3 Distress Oxide ink pads. So I've got Tumbled Glass, Peacock Feathers and Blueprint Sketch. So I'm going to use my blending brush and I'm going to start with the lightest one. I'm just going to rub over the top like this. This is probably really hard to see on the camera because blue doesn't tend to pick up that well. But it needed to be blue for the snowflakes. So we are going in with that. Going another bit of this on here. And you can see it really picks up and highlights the embossing on the design. So we're then going to go in with a little bit of peacock feathers. And this is like a lovely turquoisey blue. Going to just work around. Adding just a little bit on. I'm not kind of stressing too much about where the colour's going. We're just kind of buffing a little bit of colour onto these snowflakes. And obviously by being quite light with your pressure as well, what that is then doing is it's just meaning that you're just catching the top of the embossing, which is kind of what we want to do. Genuinely so excited about this embossing folder and die set. I'm like, oh, so excited. When this one came through as a sample, I was like, yes, this is what I had in mind. So next up, we're going to take our dies. So the dies coordinate with the folder. Dead easy to line up because you've then got that 3D kind of raised edge. And I really hope that you all like the idea of this because I've got more ideas and different things that we can do with this. So we're going to place that die over the top and we're going to stick it down in place. So we're going to do that on all of the designs. So like so, just sticking down. They're not kind of too detailed either, the die designs. It just cuts out that lovely outline of your snowflakes. Stick that there and stick that there. Okay then. So we are then going to take our base plate, our plastic shim and then our cutting plate on the top. So that's going to be the sandwich that we send through our machine. So through it goes. Don't stress, it doesn't squish the embossing powder too much either because you've obviously got that little bit of metal around the edge protecting the embossing. So when this comes out at the other side, look, you can push these little snowflakes out, give them a little wiggle. They are so pretty. Honestly, I'm obsessed with this design. Like, I think this is going to be my Christmas cards this year. I just love it. I love this folder design. So again, just give me a little wiggle to get them out. There we go. I don't like to put too much pressure in that sandwich because I don't want to squish the embossing. So just keep that in mind. You can always run them through twice if you need to, rather than kind of putting a magnetic or anything in there. So what I've then done is take my Dry's Clear PVA glue and the classic Crystallina glitter, and I've just started to glitter up the snowflakes. So for example, on these ones, I'm just really following where the high points are of the embossing. So I'm not being too careful, just going in with my glue, adding a little bit onto here. Like so, and then I'm going to dunk that into my Crystallina glitter. So I've done that with all of the snowflakes, and I've got some that are dry, just so that I can show you how they dry down. As you can see on this one, how I've got the glitter on there. But then when it dries down, you're going to get the colour shining through from underneath. Oops. So you can then see how that looks. And the same with the larger one. So you can see I've just glittered the ends on this one. And then on this little pretty one, I've just glittered that little petal shape. Okay, so we're going to grab our snowflakes out and we're going to add some jewels onto them now. Now, when I did this sample card, I didn't have the bling box that is now with Winter Wonderland. So I'm feeling we might use a few of the jewels that are in here for something a little bit different. So I'm fancying some of these kind of blue ones I think are really pretty. So we'll use some of those. So these jewels all have that Aurora Borealis coating, so it's got that AB type effect. So I'm going to go in and just add a little dot of glue onto each of these little kind of diamond shapes. And then I'm going to go in with my tweezers and just place the little jewels down in place, like this. So we're just going to work round, and this card actually is on the front of the packaging as well, so if you want some inspiration, we've got loads of ideas on YouTube, loads over on the blog on our website, and there's always stuff going up on socials as well, so please do have a little look. We do of course have an amazing Facebook group as well where you can share your makes. So we're just going to place these down into here like this. And one more. There we go. So you can see how we've added the little jewels onto there. So what I've done is taken one of these snowflakes. So this is the smaller design. This is the one that's already dry. So I've put some foam pads on the back. So the idea was that you can layer these all up. So I'm going to stick that onto there, like so, and then I've got one of our little sparklers that I'm actually going to add into the middle. So you can see how that's then created that beautiful jewel style snowflake. I am obsessed with making these. I think they'd look awesome on your Christmas tree as well. So we're going to grab in the next one, which is this one here. So this design, we're going to go with these turquoisey ones, I feel these will be nice on here. Actually might go for a large one and then a small one. Ooh, because we can. I just had the plain jewels when I did the card sample, but I feel like this will look good. So again, little dots of glue, just where you want to pop your jewels. And then I'm going to just place those down in place. I just feel really under pressure when I do this on camera. It's much easier doing this bit at home. Okay, so a little bit of glue on there. And we'll stick that onto there. Okay, so you can see then how we've got the little jewels all on there. So what we're going to do now is take another one of those little snowflakes that we've glittered. So this is another one of the smaller ones. And then we're going to hover in position and place that down. And then again, I've got a little sparkler to go in the middle, so you can see how we've created that one. And then the one that we've just glittered, I'm just going to pop a sparkler in the middle of, and that'll then be ready to stick onto our base card. So I'm going to go grab my card back in. Now I've used, on the finished sample, I had some of this like very fine ribbon. I've not got any of that left, so all I've got is some silver string. So I'm going to use that on this one. So we're going to take the string, I'm going to cut it down to roughly kind of how long we want it. Okay. And I'm going to take that and flip it so it's round the back of our card. I'm going to hold that in place. So I'm actually going to use a foam pad, because I'm going to stick this onto my card blank with foam pads anyway. So I'm going to decide roughly where I want that to be. So say we want that to be about there. And then that snowflake will go onto here, like that. So I'm going to trim, how do we do this? Might stick the snowflake on first actually. So I'm going to take a foam pad. Sorry, I'm dragging this so it's really close towards me, but you probably can't see it as well at home. So we're going to position that to roughly kind of where we want this string to be. And then we're going to take that snowflake. A bit more over here actually. It's so challenging making a decision. There we go. Right, so we'll stick that so it's about there. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to snip away that excess little bit of string. And then we're going to do the same with this one here. So again, we're going to take a little foam pad. Again, it's a lot easier as well if your snowflakes are dry. That's where I was going with that. So we want this snowflake to be, maybe it's about there. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we've got that string stuck on the front. So I'm going to take that and drag it up and then stick that on the back. Again, I'm just going to use a little foam pad to hold that in place. There we go. And then the next one is nice and easy because we're just going to stick that on flat. And to be honest, I don't even think it needs a bit of string necessarily. So we'll stick that on the card once we were ready to go. So we're going to flick that over and we're going to take some foam pads just to balance out the back here. You could, of course, have used a little bit of sellotape, but naturally I've left the sellotape next door. So I'm improvising with some foam pads here. So we're going to pop this like this here. Okay, and then we're going to take the backs off of these. Take our card blanket in and we're going to just position that into the middle. So you can see how pretty that is looking already. And then we're going to take this little snowflake and we're going to just stick this one down. So I'm just going to use a bit of glue on the back of this one. Stick that there. And then we'll take that silver thread I'm going to attempt to tie a little triple bow. So just do this on my fingers like a figure of 8. I think what we'll do is next time I've got someone in to help me, I'll try and get a little video of a close-up of that, so then you can see it. So you're going to just tie the bows. So I'm just trying to pull this, carefully pull that together, like that. Just take that away. You're going to snip the ends off of that silver thread and then stick that onto the top of there. So a little glue dot, I think, just to pop that into place. And there we go. And then we'll do the same again. So I'm just going to put 2 bows on this one. So just like a figure of 8 around my fingers. And then tuck that down the back. And I'm going to take a little bit of glue, bob that onto there, stick that onto there, and then I'm going to grab another couple of small glue dots, and I'm going to take 2 jewels. I've got the lighter blue ones, I think. Or actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to go for silver. I'm going to use a different Bling box just to throw a curveball in there. So either Chloe's favourites, which is this one with the pink, or Winter Wonderland, not Winter Wonderland, Frosty Christmas will have the clear jewels in. Or you can buy them individually actually as well, just thinking. Do have the refill packs on the website. So I'm going to just pop, I don't like to see the knots, that's my issue. So I'm going to just put a little glue dot in the middle of there. And that will be your finished project. So that is using the Crystal Snowflake 3D embossing folder. So I really hope that you've enjoyed crafting that card with me. All of the materials are available from chloescreativecards.co.uk, and I've listed everything in the description below. I hope that you love this one as much as I do, because it's one of my favourites. I absolutely love it. I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you for joining me. Bye!